Good day, my friends, and welcome back once again to Brotherhood of the Bat Collectibles. My name's Chris, and I'm the Batman statue collector. And today I want to give a shout out to Mr. X over on the Extreme channel. Really amazing channel. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. Of course, if you're watching this, you probably have visited his channel many, many times. But he recently did a video that I am taking inspiration from. And I thought it would be really fun to kind of go back and look at how my collection has changed. And boy, has it. If you think of the old attic, if you think of the old Batcave 2.0, it's really amazing to see how many pieces have kind of come and gone, and some have definitely stayed. But I thought it would be fun today to kind of look back at one of my room tours. And the one we're going to be looking at today is from 2018. So I want to kind of talk about that tour, those pieces, and then I'm going to do a separate video where I do a 2.0 room tour as well, where I kind of reflect, because again, it's amazing how many pieces have kind of come and gone from the display over those years. So today we're going to be focusing on way back in 2018, back in the old original Bat Attic. And so, yeah, let's have some fun. Let's check it out. So I had to leave the old intro in there. That was a lot of fun. So anyway, this is going to be a lot of fun today, just kind of going back and looking and kind of having some memories here of the old cave. Obviously, this was an upstairs attic. So we had a regular floor and a basement. And then this was kind of what's considered a bonus room. It was basically the space over the two-car garage. It's very narrow, though. But anyway, basically, you would go up the stairs. We had very young kids at this point, also dogs, and so we didn't want them up in the bat cave. There was a door up there, but we just didn't want the kids going up there, so we had our little gate. It's definitely advisable if you have small children with your collectibles. But I had this giant fathead. This was David Finch, and it's funny because I don't even know if I knew that this was David Finch whenever I put this up. This is one of the hardest things in the world it was to take down. When we actually took it down, it took some of the drywall with it when we moved. And so we could see that this is a massive, massive wall. You had to have a giant ladder to get up to the top, but it took the drywall up with it. And so that sucked. We had to patch the wall and repaint and stuff, but it was what it was. Those things happen, but the fatheads are supposed to come right off, but it didn't. And I really wish we could have taken that with us, because this was such a cool, just such a cool, iconic piece. And again, it's, David Finch has turned into my favorite artist. Like he was not at the time, but definitely is now. So my thinking was that this wall was going to be art. It was going to be my art print wall, my autographs. Obviously, this particular year, this was 2018, and I met Capullo, Snyder, and Jonathan Galapian at Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City. And so I was able to meet the three of them, and they were also signing at the table, and they had this print. So again, I thought that was awesome. I have since sold this. I had another collector reach out to me. I wasn't planning on selling it, and they said, "Hey, I noticed it on your wall. Would you ever consider selling that?" And at this point, I was like, "Well, yeah, that'd be okay," because I'm really focusing on the original art at this point, and I've met Capullo and Snyder so many times at this point. So very, very cool. This is an Alex Ross piece. This was basically, it is a poster. It's not a canvas. It is a poster print that I framed up and put it on there. I was so proud of this at the time. This was a little gadget where you can just hit the button and it would turn the lights on and off in the Batcave. Specifically like the lights underneath the cabinets and things like that. So I was very proud of that at the time. Of course, now technology has come so far. So this was my little Dark Knight area. This was the, I guess I'll show you this first too. This is Neil Adams. I still have this. This is the Neil Adams Joker cover. Very famous. He did tell me whenever I met him that this print was slightly different than the actual cover itself, but it does say to Chris, Neil Adams on it. So that's always fun, right? Anyway, so that was my goal, is to have all this art on this wall going up, because I had the slanted walls, so art just really wouldn't have worked out very well. Again, this is my Dark Knight area. This was the Ministry of Masks. So I had all of the bank robber masks. Again, I have sold them all since then. Actually, probably most of the items in this video I've probably sold. But I loved these masks. I thought they were very cool. I don't know if I probably wish that I had them back at this point now that I've got kind of like some of the movie stuff. I think it would be kind of cool to have the mask surrounding the Infinity Studios Joker. But of course, at the time I didn't know I'd be getting that. I'm also showing off the lighting here. I just had like those LED strips back in the day. So had some Harvey Dent buttons, which you can see here. Got those, I think, on eBay. Again, this was back in 2018. So I think I've had those, or at least I had them. I think for almost since 2009 or 10 probably. Dark Knight came out in 08. This was the Prime 1/2 scale. I had owned 2 half scales. I had owned this one, and I also owned the Ben Affleck. Really liked this piece a lot. Like, this was a dream piece whenever I got it in. It was a nightmare to try to dress him because you had to actually dress the body. And I did that on a video, which is hilarious. So if you ever want to go back and watch it. I also had this was part of like a casino deck, like a poker set. And it had all of the cards, like every card that they used in the Dark Knight. And I still have all of those cards. I just don't use them for display or anything, but I wanted to utilize all the cards, and I don't think it looks very good now looking back on it. And of course I have sold this Joker long time ago. I actually ended up doing the Queen Studios bust, and that was before they were even licensed, and then they got the license based right after that. So I do also still have this. This is kind of like a giant canvas of the Dark Knight. So anyway, this was my little section. I was really proud of it at the time, but looking back on it, it wasn't very good. I don't think. I definitely could have made some changes. I don't like the way the cards look back there, but anyway. And then I ended up with the bust, and then I sold the bust as well to get the Infinity bust. So anyway, so here we go. This was the old cave. This is kind of what started it all really for me. As you would come up the stairs, my first video was 2016, and of course the cave didn't change too much over the next couple years. What did I move in 2019? I think I moved, and so that's whenever I started doing the packing videos and things like that. So like just right before COVID hit. I think we were only at our new house for a short period of time before all that hit. As you can see, I got a lot of the Arkham pieces in. I had bought and sold a bunch of pieces as well in the meantime, so that was pretty crazy. But anyway, I had the theater chair. Still have that chair. I don't know where it's ever going to live, considering I might put a couch in here. But anyway, I had this Batarang. This was from the Arkham game, kind of mounted into the wall to make it look like it had gone into the wall. I actually really liked the way that looked. Had my Kevin Conroy autograph right there, and of course I had gone to a couple of cons at that point, and so that was going to be where all of my the badges are. Now I've had probably close to 20 different badges now over the last couple of years, press passes and things like that of the events that I've gone to. I've been so blessed and so lucky to go to New York Comic Con and MegaCon, and of course San Diego Comic Con twice. It's just amazing to me that, thinking back of when I did this video, the thought of doing any of those conventions, I still can't even imagine at this point that I would have gone to any of those. But anyway, I had my theater chair. I was really proud of that. That way I can kind of sit up here and relax and enjoy the room. Here I'm sitting down in it just to kind of show you what my view was back in the day. And I know a lot of you are probably going to feel kind of nostalgic watching this. I definitely am. And it's just fun to kind of look back and see all the different pieces, see, just kind of what I was thinking. I really liked the look of this room. I loved the way that I had the blue lighting back in the back corner. It just was fun. I did have a number of books at this point. I had used some Walmart bookshelves just to display the books. Now, of course, I have them on my bottom shelving with my CGCs, but just to kind of give you an idea of some of the stories I had. Also, I had some absolutes, and also some one omnibus. I actually talk about it here in this video, that the omnibus was thanks to Jim Mint. Jim Mint's channel inspired me to start collecting some omnibus, and so that was really cool because Jim, of course, that's kind of where he got his kind of rise to fame. Definitely doing so many book reviews and omnibus. Just has such an incredible collection. And it's still just really fun to see how far he's come in the community with his collection as well. But anyway, I had these absolutes, and well, maybe I didn't have an omnibus at this point. Maybe I'm thinking of a different video. But I did buy one based on what he said. So maybe I'm thinking of a video after this one. It's possible. I've done a lot of videos over the last 8 years, nearly doing daily content. But it's, that was my goal, is to get as many of the absolutes, especially those large, oversized editions, which was pretty cool. So definitely had some more room for some more. But anyway, let's go up and look at this Harley. Man, this was a really fun piece, obviously. And this was kind of a barren area. Eventually, I would have, like the Dark Knight Batman. I would have the Hush Batman up here for a little while anyway. Of course, that made it into the Batcave 2.0. But this was the Prime 1 Harley. And at the time, man, I loved this piece. I know a lot of other collectors loved this one as well. The paint was really great. At the end of the day, I wasn't really happy with the portraits at all. I liked this one because the gum really kind of covered her face, and I thought it was a fun look. But I just wasn't a fan of this, the portraits. And to me, the portrait has to be really, recently we've been talking about, it needs to be at least 85% or better. And so hopefully, 100%. But this one was close. I just didn't love these portraits as much. Obviously, since this video's come out, man, if Blitzway did this piece today, I would probably buy it, to be honest, because I think that they would just kill it. This was the Batman Batarang from Batman vs. Superman. I think I still have that somewhere in a bin somewhere. A lot of these little knick-knack type things I definitely put away. And at the time, I'd ordered the Batman, the Ben Affleck Batman, also to go with this. Ended up canceling it. I never ended up getting it in to review or anything. So, but man, still just a beautiful, spectacular piece. It's still fun to go back and look at her because she was fun. But I don't regret selling this one at all. And I'm hoping that the collector that bought it for me still loves it to this day, because it is still a spectacular piece. It had the actual fishnet stockings and stuff like that. So very cool indeed. Also, it's fun to kind of go back and look at my old shelving. Obviously, this was my garage shelves that I had wrapped in wood. I used a shiny material on the top that I got off of Amazon just to kind of give these a polished look, kind of like a podium. Because again, whenever I started my collection, there was no really good display options outside of IKEA. And even to this day, it's still hard to kind of come up with something. So people have made their own stuff and, all of that good stuff. But I still, to this day, love the way these look. I can definitely see me doing something like this inside of this current cave. However, I'll probably do something that matches the shelving on the sides a little bit more, but I still love the way this looked. It wasn't perfect, but it definitely held the weight. I didn't worry about it collapsing or anything like that. And so I still am very proud of that for sure. You can also see that I had the Dark Knight Joker over there. That was the sideshow piece. I ended up getting the Batman one that was the same. This one was a thinner podium piece that I did. That was actually wrapped a Walmart display, like a bookshelf display, which I still have. That's what, like my Catwoman right now and my Michael Keaton 89. That's what those are sitting on. So I've just repurposed those. But I really liked this one. I thought that the portrait on it was really good. I didn't love the way it was done pose-wise. I think it was sculpted by Matt Black, I think. But I thought that the portrait, especially from the side, it wasn't great. I don't know, just like, again, it didn't match up to what the current standards would be in 2025, but it was still a fun piece for the time. This one I missed. This one I actually had twice. This one was the Batman Noel, of course, Lee Bermejo. Lee Bermejo. I'm clearly getting choked up thinking about it. But anyway, I ended up getting Batman Damned, which I do love that piece just slightly more. Although this piece was so well done, and of course I've got the Batman Noel book right beside him. But this piece, just, I love the Berserker Rage portrait, and I love Lee Bermejo. He is without question one of my favorite artists. Had a chance to hang out with him a couple of times now. And he's just such a cool dude. And man, I'm just can't wait to see him at MegaCon this year. But anyway, spectacular piece. I love the way the cape was kind of deteriorating at the bottom, kind of like warped. It looked great. Obviously, the other portraits looked good as well. And I still feel like this piece could absolutely hold up in any collection, even though it is an older piece to this date. And man, speaking of older pieces, the OG Joker, which I still have in the collection to this day. I've never sold this one. This is the exact same one I have. This one, gosh, I don't know. I've in my mind, I've tried to get rid of this one a million times, but I just can't for whatever reason. I still feel like it looks great. It still holds up, even though it is a very old piece at this point. What did that come out at, like 2008 maybe? It's been around a very long time, and it's just a great piece, and it's terrifying. You know, it really is. It maybe doesn't have the same impact in this room, this much larger bat bunker, but in this room, it looked really fantastic. And, you know, I think a lot of people talk about this. This is kind of what I was known for, is this, you know, people called it the fish tank display. And it was really just, again, it was, garage shelving that I wrapped in wood, with LED lighting. And this is, again, what I was kind of known for. Had a lot of the original pieces. The only one that I have to this date is the Joker. The Joker I still have. It's my original piece. I think I've had Batgirl 3 times. I think I had, let's see. Yeah, I think all the other ones I only had once. But I really liked that Batgirl. But of course, you know, we got that great Daniel Bell one now. But it's crazy to go back and look at how this display right here has evolved. I miss it. You know, I really do. I wish I could make that work in this space. I'd kind of thought about it or planned that I could maybe do something like that in the middle, but it just wouldn't work in this particular setup. But I love the way the graphic looked. I had those printed up at a local print shop, and it kind of was like Sanity come alive. You know, it was kind of like my version of Sanity. And I still to this day love the way that looked. I really do. I'm not sure why I panned over that way, but anyway, obviously, again, just such a great lineup, and Sideshow has released so many amazing statues. I'm actually considering getting that Poison Ivy back just to sit on my desk. Still one of my favorite pieces. I do really miss this one right here. Mine had a pretty good scratch on it, but one of my very first Sideshow pieces. And man, I would love to. I'm thinking about getting that one back. That would be a lot of fun. So anyway, then we have the Joker. Again, I still own this one today. I do have it with the custom hands that a collector sent me, which was fantastic. And then of course you have the OG Harley. I'm thinking that went to someone overseas, if I remember correctly. One of my collecting friends over there. Again, I had Batgirl a number of times. I still think she holds up really well. That Art Germ Lau style, just a great piece. I ended up also getting Batgirl, Batwoman, and I had her on display in this display case also. I also had the purple Catwoman as well for a while. So if you go back and watch some of these old videos, you can see some of the older pieces. Still love that Batman. This Catwoman I still think was really great. I didn't love the clothing on it. I worried about it over time, and the pose was limiting. But I still think it's a great Catwoman. And obviously this Bane was phenomenal. Martine Canale. I still would consider getting this one back. I love the Daniel Bell one. But this one is fantastic. It really, really is. But if I was going to get something back or get another Bane, I'd probably get that City of Bane by Prime 1. But still a very impressive piece to this day. Again, I didn't love the clothing. Or at least now going back looking at it, I don't know if I would want the clothing on it or not. But anyway, that's what premium formats were. Premium formats mean that they had clothing. So that's kind of how, so at least most of them had clothing. I guess the Ivy didn't, but all the other ones had some sort of cloth element to it. And of course you have the OG, the Batman bust here, which I'm going to show you guys here in a second if I'll ever pan over. Apparently I was doing a lot of talking during this segment, which I guess I'm doing now. So anyway, there we go. There's Batman. So I still have this one as well. I always used to say that if I had a fire in the house, this is the one I would grab. It's maybe a few notches down down the list now, but still a great piece. Still really love this one. And again, I've just like the Joker, I've thought about getting rid of these. selling them, moving on to another collector that would appreciate it. But at the end of the day, I just don't know if I can, if I could do that. I don't know if I can move on from these, but I'm sure at some point I will, because I'll want the room for something new. But I still think the busts have a lot of presence in the collection, and they're just so unique, and they really do draw your attention to them. And I feel like this is like the perfect representation of Batman, very similar to the premium format, obviously. Then we're going to move on to the Arkham. So this really was what became my favorite part of the collection. Getting the Arkham line, and again, you can see that I had a number of them at this point, but I didn't have all of them. I didn't have the Mr. Freeze yet. I didn't have the Killer Croc. But of course, all of these I've sold. All of these I've actually bought and sold twice, which is pretty crazy. So I don't think I actually bought that one twice. I think that was the only one I didn't. Love this Deathstroke, and the reason why I didn't buy it again is because I love the Prime 1 piece that I have, where he's lunging forward on the Grim Reaper. But this piece still, I feel like, absolutely holds up. I feel like it could be part of any collection. This Bane, I obviously bought and sold twice. I had the Mercenary and also the Venom. I ended up selling this one, I think, to Mike, if I remember correctly, down in Texas. I think that he was the one that bought this for me. And I got the Venom, and I can't remember. I think we might have done a trade, if I remember right. But anyway, it's just a very cool piece. The Venom obviously had more Bane elements to it, but just a fun piece. And again, I did buy it back again to recomplete the Arkham line, because I sold them all, bought them all back, and sold them again. Man, does that sound like the Batman statue collector or what? If you've made it this far in the video, you definitely are a hardcore BSC fan. So thank you very much for being part of this channel, guys. Bought him, sold him, and rebought him again and sold him one more time. It's just a fun piece. I really like the Arkham Knight. I really wanted as many third scale characters as possible. But at the end of the day, when you started comparing some of these next to the comic book pieces, they were small, and the scale bothered me a little bit. I made a little extra shelf here, like an extender shelf, because I started wanting the heroes. And really, the reason why I bought the heroes is because I was wanting to buy more stuff. I was wanting to add more pieces. And of course, these did not last long at all. As you can imagine, I don't do the heroes very well. I really, out of the three, I really liked Batgirl the best. Her pose was kind of wonky. Actually, I really liked Robin too. I thought he was well done. But yeah, they did not last long in the collection at all. And I was glad to move them on to another collector that would appreciate it way more than me. But Batgirl was fun. I didn't love the pose. And the only reason why I bought Nightwing was because it kind of offset the pose of Batgirl. As you can see, they were kind of bookend pieces, and that's the way they were designed to be. But, you know, it is what it is. Batman, of course, I love. I bought and sold him, and bought him again, sold him. So I don't have any of the Arkham pieces except for Mr. Freeze and Killer Croc, which I bought both of those back again after selling them. So again, I've bought all of these and sold them except for those. Those two I haven't sold yet. And I do have the Arkham City Harley, which I think to me blows this one out of the water. This one was at the time one of my all-time favorites. I love this one. I love the way she looked. Was so excited to get her in the collection. But at the end of the day, I really do love the Arkham City one just so much better. And of course, I have the comic book one as well. So I must have said the wrong Arkham. So, but anyway, Batman. I still think it's a fantastic piece. If I had extra money lying around, I would maybe consider getting him just as a standalone, which I've thought about doing, like the XM Samurai Batman, getting that one back just as a standalone. But I'd rather move on to like new pieces. This one was still very hard to buy. This one, especially, I was threatened to never sell this one by my wife. And so, she did give me permission at one point to be like, you could sell it. But this was her favorite for whatever reason, really the most grotesque one in the collection. But she really liked this one. And it's still fantastic. And I still am hoping that they do a third scale. But the reason I sold it was because, again, it just was very underscaled compared to the other comic book pieces that Prime 1 was doing. And so I did move on from it. You have Azrael here as well. Still love this piece. This was a very underrated piece. I think you can get it like right now for like $300. And I never bought it back. So that one was tough. But I never bought that one back whenever I was starting to put the collection back together. So all the other ones I did, except for the heroes, obviously I didn't buy Robin or Batgirl or Nightwing back. But the collection was definitely starting to fill in. Obviously Freeze and Croc and Joker were the ones that I was still waiting for. I ended up getting all of those by the time I moved. And so it was cool to see them, all on display. And as I had intended, like that wall was exactly what I was hoping it would be, all these villains. And I just loved the way it looked. And of course, I ended up duplicating it very similar in Batcave 2.0. And again, I'm going to do a second video where I talk about that collection and kind of just how it changed over time. But still, again, very fun to look at this and kind of reflect on the old school collection, right? It's a lot of fun. And I still feel like it had a tremendous amount of presence in the collection, and it's definitely nostalgic for sure. I also had this IKEA piece here. This had my Joker hand. I had my original Killing Joke, which was very cool. Had a little spotlight, and had the Killing Joker. I believe Kotobukiya made that one as well, and still a very fun Joker piece. Kind of like I just thought I could put knickknacks or CGCs in here. And whenever I did this, I didn't really even know what CGCs were yet. So that was definitely introduced to me by the collecting community, the BSC community. And I appreciate everybody's advice on all of that good stuff. But it was just very cool. I still maybe have some of this stuff. I don't remember exactly what I still have. But again, if it's the knickknack stuff, I probably still have it in a box somewhere. I just didn't know, in this particular room or the other room where to display it. Just didn't have a ton of room. But anyway, that's kind of my Joker stuff that I had. I also have a Funko Pop that was signed by Kevin Conroy. I also got some collector awards as well from back in the day, which was really fun. So anyway, had those three. Those were crazy because they were real heavy metals. It was really neat. So that was, just fun to think about that stuff again. Just some of the friends we've made through the community through that. But anyway, that Kevin Conroy Funko Pop, I still have that. And again, I don't really have a place to display it, but it is what it is. So just fun. So that's basically all I had in there. So yeah, again, as you kind of look in the room, this is kind of, the way it looked. It's just very fun for me to kind of go back and look at kind of what I was trying to accomplish. I love the black and blue in here with the blue lights. I didn't love that window back there. That was one thing that drove me crazy, but it is what it is. I also had this little area here that didn't last very long, but it was going to be my Pirates of the Caribbean area. I had these amazing candles that actually Disney uses to in the Haunted Mansion. It's used to have these real flicker effects, which is really cool. It looks really real in person. I had the Davy Jones chest, which that thing now goes for $600-700. So it's very rare. I had a real pirate barrel, which is really cool, and some real ship items, pulleys and things like that. I rebought back the Jack Sparrow from Sideshow, which again is very Pirates of the Caribbean. This is where I store all my boxes. So eventually, I was hoping that I could find another spot for the boxes. That was all my boxes back then, guys. Can you believe it? I could actually fit it in a small closet. Now it's in a giant warehouse type thing, which is pretty crazy. Storage unit. So anyway, I also had that. That was actually from one of the ships from Pirates of the Caribbean 3, the Empress. I actually got that from Disney directly. But my plan was to have a life-size Davy Jones bust. It was a custom bust. And I talked back and forth with the artist for years and kept pushing me off and said, they had other people in front of me, which was fine, but I just never ended up getting it. So I still would have loved to have it, but that was going to go there on top of the pirate barrel. My brother-in-law ended up taking that barrel and cutting it open and making a bar out of it, which it looks really good. So at least that went to some good use, but basically everything. I still actually have the shield back there. I think I'm going to get ready to toss it in the bin because it just doesn't have a place in my house. And I was, it's fiberglass. It was super heavy. It was, cost me a couple $100s to get it shipped via freight truck to my hometown. So anyway, that was kind of my little nod to Pirates of the Caribbean, because that's still my favorite trilogy. I love those films. I love anything with Pirates of the Caribbean because I'm a giant Disney fan. So anyway, that was my plan, to have these, like, I use boxes there, but I was gonna have all these like old wooden boxes and stuff to kind of give it like this little Pirates display, which would have been fun. But yeah, those hopes have been dashed, and all of that's been sold and gone. But again, just a fun way to look back at this room, guys. And again, I really hope you did enjoy it. And again, I'm looking forward to doing the other Batcave as well, the 2.0. I'm not sure exactly which tour I'm going to pick, but you'll definitely get to see some older pieces in there as well, and kind of how I went from this to the other room. And I had a lot of similar aesthetic to it, but I don't know. It's just, again, fun to kind of reminisce. And I would love in the comments down below if you guys would share, I don't know, some of your favorite memories of the Batcave, how you kind of first, if this is kind of like when you first discovered the channel, what that was like. But again, it's crazy to think that almost all of these pieces are no longer in my collection anymore. It's interesting to see how collections evolve. I would love to hear also how yours has evolved over time. Let me know in the comments down below as well. Because again, it's just kind of fun to think about, what pieces do you have? Which pieces do you kind of regret getting rid of? How do you display today, and all those good things? So anyway, I'm going to let you go here. Again, I can't thank you enough for watching, and let me know if you enjoyed this at all. Kind of going back and talking about some of the old memories of the channel. As we continue to teeter on, 9 and 10 years of doing this here on YouTube, being, part of this community. And it's just really fun to see not only how my collections evolve, but how your collections evolve and change over time as well. It's just a lot of fun for me, and I know it's a lot of fun for other collectors as well. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys for taking time to watch. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. And if you want to take it one step further, consider hitting the join button. That really does help. It creates a membership for you. You get early access to the videos and other perks and things like that. So again, I can't thank my members who have just stuck with me through and through. So I love you guys. Thank you so very much for your support. And again, I just hope you enjoyed the video today, and I hope you're all doing well. Continue to be good to yourself and others. Make sure you take time for your own mental health in a crazy world. And happy collecting, and we'll see you back in the Batcave. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.